This is another video about how to get a driving license in Malta. This time I will be answering the question I get asked mostly as a driving instructor. So, how many lessons do you need to pass your driving ability test in Malta? Let's start by mentioning that in Malta there is no minimum lesson requirements before you can apply for a practical driving test. Although there is a pupil record sheet with a syllabus that must be signed off by your instructor according to your level. Now that we cleared the minimum legal requirements, let's move on to how many lessons do you need before you are prepared, confident enough and safe to pass your practical driving test. This advice is not just for Malta, but for anyone that is preparing to obtain a driving license around the world. The simple answer for amount of lessons required is not so simple after all, because it depends on many factors. And a good instructor will be able to give you an approximate within the first 2-3 lessons, but it's never accurate because it depends on many factors. So the real truth is you cannot know how much. However, there are ways you can speed up the process by taking an active role yourself in the safest manner. So the factors are these approximately. Let's start with the most obvious one that many people think about, that there is a statistical difference between men and women. From my experience, although I didn't actually keep statistics of this, but from my experience, I don't think there is any difference in speed of learning. I explained this in great detail and thoroughly in another video, which you will find a link above over here and also in the description of this video, pointing out the differences of men versus women. The other factor that plays a good role in the amount of lessons you need is age. Let me put it straightforward to you, and this is not necessarily exact science, kind of, because everybody is an individual and has different needs and requirements. But the general idea from my experience is that the younger you are, the faster you will learn. I think this is not just only in driving, but in many other things. I had pupils of 18 years up to 60 years of age. The older you become, the more lessons you need. I'm not saying it's not possible, but the more lessons you need. Again, that's a general idea. Having said that, when you are at the age between 20 and 25 approximately, I think you might be more mature, not everybody again, and can understand maybe the rules better. Anyway, that's something about age. Another factor that plays a part is which country you come from. Now you might be telling yourself, what are you saying? Yes, it does make a difference. Let me give you an example. And again, this is from my experience. By the way, when I mention these factors, I'm not only talking about someone that is a beginner towards driving, I'm actually talking about everyone. What I mean by that is I'm talking about people that are beginners, don't have a license, no license at all, no car, no motorcycle, no truck license. And I'm also talking about someone that has a license already. Although there is the general idea that when you have a license already and you have driving experience, you will learn faster. These points and factors still apply. So another factor I was saying before that plays a good part is which country you come from. Let me give you an example. Let's say you come from a country like Germany or South Africa or UK, where driving rules are pretty thorough and well obeyed. I'm talking from experience. I haven't experienced driving in South Africa myself. However, I experienced driving in Germany and UK. I'm talking from experience with pupils. I had pupils from South Africa and their driving was pretty informed and they were well informed about the rules. So for those people it was easier to learn and adjust. So that makes a difference also from which country you are coming from. Another factor that plays apart is practical background experience. What do I mean by that? What I'm referring to is when you were young, not necessarily young, but usually the younger the better when it comes to practical experience. Were you the kind of outdoor person or the person that was more inside and has more knowledge around computers, for example? I'm not saying one is bad or wrong. I'm not here to judge that, but from my experience, when someone has more practical experience outdoors, for example, like even helping with chores at home, whatever practical background or we call it life practical experience, your chance of learning is faster. As I said, this doesn't need to say that you should give up on trying to learn how to drive, but actually learning to drive is practical experience in itself. So if you're young, it's a good idea to learn to drive. That could be another goal, for example, for you to drive, because I find out that since these days we are mostly in front of a computer, when pupils come out to drive, it's fun because they are doing something real, something that you can see and you can participate in. So that's why usually I encourage people to obtain a driving license, even if they don't need it that much, for example. Having said that, this doesn't need to let you down or make you give up, okay? I'm just mentioning the differences so you will be aware of your needs and requirements. Another factor is past experiences, like for example, if you had any accidents related to driving, have you gone over that trauma? Past experiences also affect your speed of learning. Another factor is driving experience. So if you are already a driver, for example, have a car license and want to get a motorcycle license, that plays a part also. However, the ability to change plays a good part in that. So if you are a person that you are able to change and to adjust to new situations faster, then your learning is going to be faster. And then I come to the speed of learning. Not everybody is the same. Once again, there's nothing wrong with one or another. It's just important to know yourself. Okay, those are the factors, but one of the main and very most important factor that plays a very good chunk of the speed for your learning is do not compare yourself with others. Even if you are twins and had the same life, had the same everything, you cannot compare yourself, even if you have the same instructor and you drive the same car, because every second on the road is different, just to give you an example. So you cannot compare. In fact, comparing yourself to others is the biggest hindrance to your progress. You are an individual with different requirements. Focus on yourself, be that individual, be proud of it, and enjoy it. Okay, those points I mentioned are the primary factors. However, there are also secondary factors. Your driving instructor, for example, and his or her ability to adapt to your learning style and preference. So it's important that you will search for a patient driving instructor, there could be 10 good instructors, but they might not be fitting for your likes. That's okay. Another factor is the length of lessons time. For example, I found the sweetest time to be for a driving lesson is of 1 hour. It could be 45 minutes or 1.5 hours, whatever you agree with your instructor. But I found out that the most you can get out of a lesson is 1 hour. I used to find 1.5 hours a bit too much. So it's like wasting a bit of time. But again, I'm mentioning these factors because you know yourself, you know what you can handle, okay? Analyze yourself and then decide on these factors. Another factor is the amount of lessons per week. Again, I found this sweet spot to be 2 lessons per week. This is a general idea. not for everyone, because once again, it depends on your know-how about yourself. So if you are a person that you can handle more than 2 lessons, okay, take more than 2 lessons. However, keep in mind that, again, from my experience, I found out that 2 lessons is the ideal, because you are also learning whilst you are not driving. Actually, I would say you are learning more whilst you are not driving, even probably without knowing, because your mind is processing that information while you are watching, for example, the road while you are on the bus or on public transport. 1 lesson a week, I find it a bit too long between 1 lesson and the other. 3 lessons or more, I used to find it a bit killing the progress, let's put it that way, because you think you are learning fast, but you are actually not. So that's something about the amount of lessons per week. Having said all the above, don't let these things give up. We mentioned several things. Once again, we mentioned them because you are an individual. Know yourself and don't compare yourself. Don't expect too much for yourself, and you will find out that you will learn faster. The easiest is to just try. Okay, you might find out that it's fun to drive. It is actually fun. My advice is make a goal of obtaining your driving license. This is very important. And most importantly is that you have a reason to obtain it. Without a reason, it might be difficult. For example, your reasons might be for independence, or you like cars, or you like driving in general. You like to be free. You have goals to go abroad and drive by yourself. You have a dream of racing in the future. It could be many things. However, and this is very important, do not make time goals if possible. As from my experience, it will make you and your instructor anxious, and it will then take longer to learn. Take it step by step. Enjoy it, and you will find out that you will learn faster than you are maybe thinking. If you need any assistance in making a decision to obtain your driving license or have other issues related to riding, I am offering a consultation service. You can find the link to my contacts below in the description. I can offer this service online by video chat to any part of the world or by meeting locally in Malta. Have fun driving. It is an achievement that will give you satisfaction, as it is something which requires both physical and mind activity. I call it the perfect harmony. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.